Just ticked over 4,200 miles on this new R1300RT BMW. Thought it would be helpful to give you my initial thoughts after properly breaking it in. Put this bike through the paces. I've got it in January 2026. I've ridden it in 16 degree Fahrenheit weather. I've ridden it in 92 degrees Fahrenheit weather. It's 80 degrees today. I've ridden it on the mountain roads of Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee. Went to a BMW getaway weekend outing. Put about 1,700 miles on it on that trip. Done a 530 mile highway ride, which included the Washington D.C. Beltway, which was extremely annoying. I'll never go on that road again. But I've done a little bit of everything on this bike. It has a number of different personalities, and overall it's been terrific. And there's some negatives, but overall, great bike. A little bit of background. I had a Goldwing bagger version before this bike, put 35,000 miles on that. Got to the point where I either needed to add a top case or upgrade to the Tour version. So I started shopping around a little bit, saw the videos on this, looked very attractive. I thought I would go for something with more power, a little less weight, and a little bit better handling, a little more sporty. And so I ordered it in October. The only way to get a test drive on this bike was to order it. The dealer allowed me to have a refundable deposit, all contingent on the test drive. Finally came in January, test drove it, and ended up buying it. Really felt terrific. One of the first things I noticed, it was a lot more gritty, a lot more sporty than the Goldwing. It has a auto blip feature or rev matching, which I've never experienced before. That really makes it sound like a high-end sports car. But test drive was impressive, so I ended up buying it. The first thing I need to get into is the TFT screen is 10 inches. It's terrific, beautiful screen. However, the only way to get navigation on that screen is to use the BMW app. And to use the app, you need to know that there's several things that can interfere with it. If you're wearing a smartwatch that constantly wants to sync with your phone, that could make the app cut out. If you have your phone set up to search for Wi-Fi networks, that could interfere with it, or if you're running a VPN network, that also interferes with it. So once I did all that, got it working pretty well so that it would navigate from A to B very nicely, and you pick whether it's a fast route or a windy route or an efficient route, and that's all fine. But where it fell apart with me was that I ride about 70% of my rides are routes that I import, and the app, whether it's a 25-mile ride, 50-mile ride, 100-mile ride, the app always tries to change that route by the end of the route. And I even downloaded track versions, which were 10,000 points. That didn't seem to help. I think part of the problem is you can't disengage it from the road, from the fast, efficient, or windy settings. You need to be able to turn those off. But the only app that I've found that handles that function very well, following an imported route, is the Ride with GPS. That works great. And even if I got a SIGGI extra screen, I don't really want another screen on this bike. I paid enough for it. The screen that I have should be enough. Even if I got Android Auto for it, that doesn't handle every app on your phone. It handles some, but not all the apps. So that would still not solve my problem. So I've got a phone with a big screen. I'll just look at that instead. So there's no reason that those BMW engineers can't do a software update to improve that app. Also, it really takes over your phone. I mean, it's hard to navigate to anything else on your phone once you have that app running. So I just deleted the whole thing. I don't use it. And I went out to this BMW getaway weekend, met a lot of riders that have been riding BMWs for a lot of years. I couldn't find one of them that uses that BMW app. Hey, I'm willing to try again, but it has to be functional. And for a bike of this quality, BMW engineers need to just do a software update, get the thing working correctly, because it looks great on the screen when you have it navigating. It really does. All right, so that's the app. Let's see, when I rode it in 16-degree weather, I was actually I'm about 2.5 hours away from the BMW dealer. I had an appointment to get the free checkup at 700 miles, and it was in February. I wanted to keep the appointment. The roads were dry, and it was supposed to go up to 40 degrees later, which it did. But it started in the morning. It was 16 degrees. I'm glad I did it because the heated grips work great. The heated seat works great. All this is heated as well. The hand grips, the backrest. Obviously, for some reason, I didn't have a passenger that day. Not surprising, but the bike worked well with the screen goes way up, which really blocks the wind, and these panels also block the wind, get it off of your legs more. Definitely felt a difference in the cold weather. In the hot weather, don't really notice a big difference, but in the cold weather, these are very, very functional. Hot weather, I just leave them down because you want more wind. One tip about importing routes, I import a lot of cycling routes. I belong to 2 different bicycle clubs, and if you join a large cycling club, typically they'll have GPS routes of rides 25 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, and they're generally on rural routes with twisty roads, quiet roads that are great for motorcycling. So if you're looking for new places, new local rides to do, join a cycling club. Works great for me. All right, on to the menu system. This bike is extremely sophisticated, and each function goes very deep. There's multiple ways to do different functions in the menu system, and it takes a few weeks to figure it out. I generally have a curiosity about new technology, and I didn't mind learning that. I go to YouTube, or actually Grok is a great source of information. If I have a question about the menu system or anything else on this bike, just ask Grok, and I typically get an answer pretty quickly. Even 4 months in or 5 months in, I saw a video this week where I learned how to lock the steering wheel based on holding the power button down. I didn't know that before, so I'm learning new stuff all the time. There's multiple ways to do things on this bike, and you've got to take some time to learn it if you're really interested in the technology. Everything on this bike is electronic. Bottom line is, if you're the type of person that buys an iPhone and only uses it as a phone, this bike is probably not for you. I mean, it is extremely sophisticated, but hey, I like it. It does a lot of amazing things. The two options that I got the 719 package, which includes just about everything, but I got the Audio Pro option and the Headlight Pro option. The Audio Pro gives you more powerful speakers, and they really sound terrific even at highway speeds. It's funny, these European videos, everybody says, oh, why would you want a radio on a motorcycle? Well, I don't listen to a radio with a bunch of ads. I listen to a 2,000 song playlist that I put together on YouTube Music, or it has a good, you can get XM Sirius satellite on it, which works pretty well. It is line of sight, so if you're going through a heavily wooded area, you may not get that signal, but I think I got a free year of Sirius XM, and that works great as well. So these speakers, if you like listening to music while you ride, they are worth the upgrade. I'd say that they're similar to the Rockford Fosgate system on the Harleys, maybe a little bit better volume controls, that's for sure. It's in a lot of different settings, so I would recommend that. Headlights, Headlight Pro system, I've only used a couple times, but it adjusts based on the speed you're driving and the cornering, and it is terrific. I see no reason ever to have to upgrade the headlights on this bike for night driving. During the day, it does have 2 fog lights, which are good, but for daytime running lights, if I ever changed anything, I'd put some big old round fog lights on there. I've got a friend that rides a GS, he's got the big round fog lights, which I think are more visible during the daytime. Daytime running lights are really important, so you can stand out and be seen out there. The fit and finish on the bike is great. Haven't had any problems in the 5 months that I've owned it. While I'm on the subject of lights, the tail light. Well, the bike has radar, adaptive radar for cruise control. That works terrific. The rear radar controls the blind spot monitoring, which shows up on your mirrors if anybody's in your blind spot. That's all great. But the rear tail light, I believe in Europe that will flash if somebody gets too close to your rear, or if you're at a stoplight, or even if you're driving. I thought that was a great feature that I saw in the videos initially when I started looking into this bike. You cannot get that in the US. That is ridiculous. I don't know if it's NHTSA or who's holding that up, but that is not approved on these bikes for the US. Now I use the brake-free helmet mount, which does flash based on your speed. It has an accelerometer in there. That's a good solution, but as sophisticated as this bike is, I would like to have the rear taillight flash like it's supposed to. That's just crazy. The radar adaptive cruise control works very well. If you're riding on your own on the highway, you can set the distance from the cars, and that's a very comfortable way to ride. I did my 530-mile one-day trek on the highway. It's nice to be able to rest your throttle wrist a little bit with the cruise control. Now, when I was riding out to the BMW outing with 2 friends on motorcycles, I actually wanted to get a little closer to them, and the cruise control wouldn't allow me to. So there is a limit to how close it will let you get, and there are different ways to set up the distance. Like everything else, you got to play with it and figure out how you want to set up. Wind control on this bike, the windscreen goes way up, and it's 80 degrees today. A day like today, I'm changing it all the time. On the highway, I'll have it all the way up, and then on these back roads, I'll put it way down to get some air. So that is really nice, and it's good that it's electronic because I'm constantly changing it. One thing I miss, a couple things I miss from the Goldwing. I do miss the fact that you can't really put highway pegs on this bike. It's a very comfortable riding position. You're leaning slightly forward. My back didn't hurt, shoulders didn't hurt on my 530-mile day, but my legs, I did need to stretch a little bit more. Now, my friends have said that if I put more cylinder protectors out here, I could use those as highway pegs. Your legs would still be put way out there. I might give that a try. Not sure. I haven't decided whether I want to put some additional protection on there or not. The other thing this bike doesn't have is the reverse gear. I do miss that. The Goldwing has a reverse gear. When I was out on this mountainous trip, the BMW getaway weekend, it's not just the roads that are hilly, but the parking lots are too. So you got to be very careful where you park when you don't have a reverse gear. You got to park, you got to back into everything so you can get out. So it can be tricky. I suppose reverse gear would have added some weight and some price, but it is a feature that I miss. One thing that this has that the Goldwing doesn't, it has a much better parking gear. When you turn it off, it automatically goes into park, and that is transmission based, not just brake based. So the bike isn't going to roll away on you. That Goldwing parking brake is just terrible. Constantly has to be adjusted, and it's really not strong enough to hold the bike on a hill. So this is a much better system. The comfort seat I found was fine after a long day. I didn't have any problems there. I can flat foot the bike. I'm 5'10". And as I said before, it's a comfortable riding position. Just my legs get a little tired. I probably try and stop every 100 miles or so, stretch the legs. But everything else about a long tour is very comfortable on the bike, and the seat is great. Goldwing seat is a little bit wider, might be slightly more comfortable, but this comfort seat, I don't think I'll ever need to upgrade it. It works great. Top case, never had a top case before. It really comes in handy. I took it off initially for local rides. Thought it might create some drag or notice additional weight. And I put it back on for my long trip, and it is so handy to have your gear that you need to access quickly out of there. I think it's 54 liters, holds a ton of stuff. Once I put it back on, I've never taken it off. I don't notice any difference even on the local rides. It's just so handy to have that space to put things in and out. So that's a winner, and it is lit, and the backrest is heated as well. Engine, great, sounds great. I know were some initial videos, people didn't like the sound of the new 1300 versus the old, I guess it was 1250. I think it sounds fine. At speed, it's a good sounding engine, slightly louder than the Goldwing, but sounds terrific. Ton of power, 145 horsepower, all the power I'll ever need for sure. Passing is great. Bike has a lot of different personalities. I've got the ASA transmission. I like the combination of an automatic transmission with the actuator. The foot shifter is not mechanical. It's actually a computerized electronic actuator. But I can downshift or engine brake anytime I want. I don't need a clutch. And I can switch to, if I'm going along automatic on a road like the Blue Ridge Parkway, nice and relaxed, bike might be, the RPM might be running about 2,500. And then if you turn off on a twisty, faster road, go into manual, and it's like a sport bike. The RPMs go up, and it's a screaming sport bike. Just has a lot of different personality. However you want to drive it, it's all there. Typically, I'll put it in manual for the back roads and automatic for the highways or routes with a lot of traffic lights. Oh, I was stuck in that traffic jam for about an hour on the Washington, D.C. Beltway. Had it in automatic the whole time, and the transmission handled it well. It handled it well, no problem. I mean, when you really think about it, what do you need a clutch for? I can see maybe on the parking lot drills, the slow speed drills, a clutch comes in handy. If you're really obsessed with that type of drill on a bike like this, I would put it in manual. If you're doing those drills, there's a story on the internet about a Goldwing guy who blew out his automatic transmission doing those parking lot drills every day. I think Goldwing replaced it the first time, then he went out and did it again. And they wouldn't replace it the second time. They said, hey, the bike was not designed for that. So this bike, the automatic, I think the first and second gear are a little longer than what I experienced with the Goldwing. It is a more gritty automatic. The Goldwing is more, the DCT on the Goldwing is more smooth, but ASA works fine on this. And again, I like that. Even if you didn't like automatic transmission, the quick shifter, it's not a quick shifter, but the actuator is so smooth that you could just use it, leave it in manual and use that all the time, and it's a great solution. Again, logically, I don't see why you need a clutch. On the Goldwing, when I used to go on local rides with a couple friends, I'd leave them in the dust at stoplights. They'd be just getting out of second gear and I'd be 200 or 300 yards down the road. I mean, it's so much faster and more efficient to have these new modern transmissions. I know that's sacrilege to some people, but I just don't see need for a clutch. Suspension works terrific. There's 4 different riding modes. Some of the videos talks about the Dynamic Pro, how the bike leans forward. I don't really notice that, but the suspension definitely tightens up when you put it in the Dynamic or Dynamic Pro, and the throttle changes as well. Got several riding modes, and also the suspension adjusts automatically as you're driving, so you get a really smooth ride. The weight, yeah, it's about 600-pound bike, but hey, it's lighter than what I was used to. And when you're going over a bridge like the Chesapeake Bay Bridge or a Bay Bridge tunnel down near Norfolk on a windy day, you want some weight. It's good to have some weight if you're doing some long distance touring. This seems to be about right. A couple other minor negatives. The handlebars have a terrific design, but it's tough to attach things to them. I mean, the way they're shaped, it just doesn't lend itself towards that. And even the rear hand grips, you know, they're tapered and they look great, but it's kind of tough to if you want to attach a camera to it. Foot shifter is great, but on my first test drive, I had trouble finding it. It's kind of small. Bike requires premium gas, as I guess most motorcycles do today, but Goldwing didn't, so that's kind of annoying now that gas prices have gone up so much. Whole bike is covered by plastic covers, as you can see, which it's good and bad. It's good in that it's very easy to clean, very easy to hose it off. Negative would be if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you probably have to take off a bunch of plastic panels to do anything. I haven't tried to do an oil change. May do that eventually. I hear that BMW's got some kind of weird drain plug I'd have to figure out. Other minor negatives, the servicing, big expensive service is it's 11 or 12,000 miles. You got to get the valves checked. I don't know why this engine requires that so soon. Most motorcycles, it's more like a 30,000 mile valve check, so that's an expensive service. Shaft drive is terrific. There's not a whole lot of maintenance required there, but you do have to change the fluid. I don't know why the fluid on the Goldwing lasts so much longer than the BMW, but they just don't require some of these things quite as often. Check the oil. You've got to look way down, and actually technically you're not even supposed to do it on the side stand. You're supposed to have somebody hold it up while you look down there. You can't do it yourself, so if you're a one-man band, it's kind of tough even to check the oil. It's kind of strange. Competition, I would say if you're looking at this bike, I mean, it's hard to find another bike that compares with all the electronic features. The Yamaha Tracer GT9 Plus, I don't think it's available in this country yet, but that seems to have a lot of the same features that this bike has. That's probably worth checking out. And Honda's new CB1000 is a little smaller, lighter bike, probably doesn't have quite as many features, but those two bikes for the sport touring capabilities are probably worth checking out if you want something to compare with this bike. Overall, I'd recommend it. It's terrific. I enjoy riding it every time I'm on it, and it'll do everything. One time on my group ride, we had to pull off on a nasty gravel area to take a break, and I was a little concerned about getting out of there again, I had to either go through deep gravel or go on a rutted grassy area to get back on the main road. This bike is so well balanced that it was just a piece of cake. And I've actually met some people who have ridden RTs up in Canada and Alaska on gravel and dirt roads for miles, and they had no problem. When I go up to a stop sign, this has such a low center of gravity, I don't have to put my feet down if I'm rolling at all. If I'm rolling at all, you can just keep upright because it is extremely well balanced. So that, and the suspension is so great. Even when I hit that little rutted area, it was just terrific to control. It's got plenty of suspension travel. The panniers are great. They adjust on the side. You can make them bigger or smaller. So all the luggage is terrific. I can fit everything I need in there. So overall, it is a just terrific bike, and I would recommend it. Thanks. Stop recording.